comics. I had the one of like the first in the series of 4 that they do before they launch.
Is this the one where you gets the adamantium taken out of it?
I never actually see. Here's the thing. I collected it. I never read it because I bought it because it was like Wolverine was my favorite character.
It's even
but I watched the cartoon and I had the cards. Like the cards, I read and memorized everything on the back of those cards, just not the comic books.
Right.
And I had the one of 4, and then this freaking guy when I was in 7th grade. He basically traded me like something of no value.
Freaking guy.
You mean
like
love?
A dad. It was like some dad. He's like, I don't know. That's a pretty cool comic book you got there. How about you take this thing that's worth 5 cents? And I'm like, well, that looks cool.
Yeah, and looking back, you're like, that man is a criminal.
He's probably a pedophile too.
Yeah, exactly.
I got out lucky.
I had someone who I knew, looking back,
all I lost
running a business.
Gerald was an ugly kid, huh?
Yeah.
Have you ever looked back in some situations when you're a kid and think about adults and you're going, man, that was pretty weird he did that. I dated a girl whose uncle would like beat me up, like with his son. His son was 2 years older than me, and he was a full-grown man, and I was 14.
He would help out and beat.
And he would like wrestle me, but like headlock me in a way like it hurt, and like grabbing like your ears and stuff, and like not let me go, like kind of like when someone tickles too long and it's no longer fun.
But he was your pants. It's super weird.
I don't remember all of it, but he would wrestle me. And then, like 2 years later, I remember he did it, and this is after I was 16, which is a huge, gap at that point in time. And after just doing 2 years of like judo and jiu-jitsu, I was sitting there on the couch, and I remember because we were watching Pride fighting. He had like an antenna where you could basically pirate it.
Yeah.
So I went over to his place to
Like
watch
gay fights?
It was like UFC in Japan, yeah. But yes, but in a lot of ways, I mean, it was pretty gay.
Oh, okay.
And I remember watching it, and he got on, like grabbed me. And I just kind of joked around and like threw a basic armbar because at this point I was like, oh, okay. And then he pulled out and kind of got upset, and then never again.
See, good.
Never again. But I remember thinking, wow, how weird is that you were beating up on like a 14-year-old kid who wasn't even dating your daughter. You're just an uncle to someone. But we got along. I knew him from church. But looking back, I'm like, how did that like go on? And nobody said maybe you shouldn't be doing this repeatedly.
Yeah.
He's a bully.
Yeah.
He's a bully.
It wasn't like, because at the time you'd be like, like noogie or grab me, but it was always just a little too painful. And I was like, I guess he's playing around. It only kind of hit me once
He's a jerk off.
I snatched an arm, and he was like, oh, well, you can't do it. Like it was disrespectful.
Oh, you should have fucked him up.
I'm with Tim.
Wow, Tim escalated. Oh, he's a bully. Oh, he's a jerk off. Oh, you should have effed him up, man.
Absolutely.
Jeez.
He deserves it.
100%.
Yeah, no.
It took him like 30 seconds to go to jail.
Messing him up is snapping his arm in that instance.
Yeah,
Just
that's what I
claiming
mean.
like, oh, I didn't mean to.
That's exactly what I mean.
I remember it clear as day, that moment that it happened. Anyway, what were we talking about? We weren't talking about pedophiles.
I was talking
before
about
this.
comics and comic cards and then adults that took advantage of me.
Yeah.
Not in that way.
Yeah.
I never see. He asked if I collected comic books, and I didn't. But I do like the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
Got really into when they first, when Iron Man, when they actually had the
Yeah.
First Iron Man was great.
when they actually started the Marvel Studio and
Avengers.
Jon Favreau got involved and everything. I really started getting into them, and then it became a thing where like, you'd see an Easter egg for another movie coming out, or you'd see a little scene that you're like, oh, they're teasing this, and then I started like going online and going, okay, let me research these stories. And I didn't actually read the comic books, but I would read the stories to get the background of like why this is happening.
It's
and who's
very
involved,
interesting
and,
stories.
Yeah, they're all intricate. Like,
Yeah, no.
it's impressive that they were able to put all these stories together.
Well, it was Stan Lee who put all these stories together. Like he did that, like created all of this stuff.
Yeah.
And they just basically took what he did and like put it into like really well done movies. Not necessarily like the best cinematic things, like oh that's going to win an award, but it's very entertaining.
Right.
It is very entertaining. Yeah.
I remember Iron Man came out, and that was kind of, we were waiting for I was in LA, so we were waiting for the Dark Knight at that point.
Yeah.
Dark Knight.
Oh, same time, huh?
Same time. And so it was kind of like going, all right, Iron Man. I wasn't super interested in Iron Man. I remember watching it going, wow, that's pretty good. Or maybe it was was it Dark? Yeah, it was the Dark Knight. Not Batman Begins. It was the Dark Knight, I think, at that point.
It's
Yeah.
gotta be. Yeah.
I think it was Batman Begins.
That was an amazing movie, The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Batman Begins was good, too. They were all good, just the plot holes in the last one. Was
Yeah.
Dark Knight Rises? Was that the third one?
Yeah.
With Bane?
Yeah.
The Sean Connery that they redone. So it was still a fun film to watch, but it wasn't. The Dark Knight is kind of, for me, the standard of making a genuinely good film that is a superhero film.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough to top. And I remember being so pleasantly surprised by Iron Man, thinking, okay, there could be something here. And I just got tired of it. Deadpool is one that I did like.
It was a nice contrast too, by the way. It was like a nice compare and contrast with the Dark Knight, because he is a a philanthropic billionaire or whatever, and
Arms dealer though.
And then at the end, he doesn't have the secret identity. It's
Right.
like it's not the Bruce Wayne Batman at the end. He's like, I am Iron Man.
Right.
That was a huge that's why I really
It
liked
was an interesting
Yeah.
contrast, yeah. No, I agree with you. And then Frank Miller was a huge conservative.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can find, someone can pull this up. He wrote, I believe it was in the Washington Post, about the Occupy Wall Streeters.
Yeah.
And just his disdain for them. And I remember Andrew Breitbart telling me a story where he was meeting, because he could meet everybody. He lived in Brentwood, he kind of ran in those circles.
Yeah.
And he came out as a conservative. Later on, it was the Clarence Thomas, lynching, basically, as he referred to it.
Yeah.
And because of that, the other conservatives in the industry were like, hey, Breitbart, yeah, come over here, right? They all wanted to let him know that they existed. And a lot of them were underground for a while. It's not like today. And he told me a story of going with Frank Miller. I don't know if it was like Pottery Barn or Crate and Barrel, some expensive furniture store.
Yeah.
And Frank Miller was just
Pottery
kind of
Barn.
like, that, give me that. 2 of those. Anyway, this asshole was telling me on these people, they have no idea what they're doing in the country. I'll take 3 of those. He had so much money.
Yeah.
That he was just kind of barking out like, yes, take it, put it. And Andrew just thought, this is what weird wormhole did I fall into, that this is my life right now. But Frank Miller wrote about that quite a bit, and I think if people pay attention to what they're watching, you actually see some pretty strong right-leaning messages in The Dark Knight Rises, the dangers of just sort of socialist populism,
Yeah.
right, and anarchy for the sake of anarchy with no respect to rule of law. And you know what? Bruce Wayne is a billionaire who's not the bad guy.
He's a hero.
That's kind of interesting. And Hollywood is always, every time, someone...
And a furry.
Yes.
Oh, well.
It is weird. He just runs around dressed up like a bat. Doesn't have any actual powers.
It's actually based on a real person?
Is that true?
No.
Yeah, some Scotland guy.
No.
You just
I don't think this one's one of those true ones, Josh.
It is.
a chain.
Like Napoleon's penis. This is
No, Napoleon's penis. This is a real thing. Look it up. It's
Wait,
based on
what was
his name was
Napoleon's
Wayne Bruce.
No, you're lying.
I'm not lying to you.
No, it's
You
Wayne-
guys
it's-
always, you
listen,
think
it's
I'm always
Wayne-
lying about these things.
No, it's Wayne the Bruce.
Wayne the Bruce.
That's him.
Wayne the Bruce. I won't betray Robin again. Do it. I saw it in his face in the Gotham battlefield. I took it from him. It's okay, Wayne the Bruce. Soon your bad years will be as pointy as mine.
I'm serious. If you look it up, and there's a whole
We're
costume.
looking it up right
There's
now.
a mask and he has a huge beard and he wears a bat mask.
Just so you know, some of the contracting researchers are paid by the hour, so I'm being billed for this.
Yeah, Josh got duped. That's not true.
See, it's real. It's a picture and everything.
Josh is up late at night through some Reddit thread like, oh my gosh, it's Batman. He was Scottish. Does that make
Can
sense?
you bring that back up? Now, is that a picture of someone who actually wore that but is not, or is that just a made-up, is that a Photoshop? Or was that person real? Because I find it funny if that guy's wearing like a sexual fetish mask that has a hole for the face, but then he locks in facial hair.
All right.
You never know.
There's no way for it to
You never know what truth I'm gonna bring. Or what lies I will tell.
I want that to be true.
I want it to be true.
I want it to be
too.
true.
I saw the fact check too.
Because
I
if you
just
think
wanted
about
it to be
it,
true.
a Batman would be totally useless in the Highlands.
Yes, exactly.
I'm coming! I'm jumping from the roof. If there were rooftops, I'd jump on them, but I don't have them. Grappling hook to nowhere!
Oh, but that's really cool.
I'm taking the bus!
Put him right to the next village.
Where are they?
I have to travel by map.
The bat signal never works because the clouds are always really low and damp everywhere.
It's like Spider-Man in the suburbs. No one shows you him taking the bus to Queens.
You know. Queens doesn't need any help.
Not the hero you want.
It's an edited version of a vintage photo.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So, Josh.
No, I don't even want to admonish him because it brought
No.
just that much joy to him.
No, I'm just going to say this is not like Napoleon's penis.
What was Napoleon's penis? What
Napoleon's penis. It was cut off after he died on that island. The coroner cut off his penis for some reason and then kept it, and then sold it to some extravagant, eccentric buyers, and then eventually it ended up on display in New York City.
And in Carl.
And well, that's an inside joke, but
Did you guys do this when I wasn't here?
no, I talked about this. You were here. It was a long time ago.
Friday. It was a Friday, I thought.
It might have been a Friday where I wasn't
maybe
here.
it was a Friday. Yeah, so
It was a
Napoleon's
Friday 'cause
penis
he
is
says
still out there.
Napoleon's
Is this true,
penis is in
though?
Ohio
Yes.
or something like that. I'm like,
and
no.
yeah, it's in Ohio now.
In
or something.
Canton?
Yes.
Yeah, it's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the football Hall of
Right
Fame.
next to the Lombardi
Yeah,
Trophy.
it's in Cleveland, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, because Napoleon rocked, dude.
the only trophy the Browns will ever win.
And apparently,
Napoleon's cock! Napoleon's cock!
that's where the Napoleon complex come from. The little man syndrome isn't from his height, because he was like 5'6". The little man syndrome comes from his little tiny penis.
You had a tiny penis? Well,
It was comically. It was so small that people like.
You can't know though. That's got to be worse than being in a cold pool, being
proven.
dead.
This is there's pictures of it.
It's a dead penis.
Yeah.
There's no blood flow.
They said it was extremely shriveled. Very shriveled.
Yes. Well, I would assume it's
It
shriveled.
should be. He died.
It's an actual shrunken head. You can't judge him. I don't want to judge Napoleon unfairly. A lot of mistakes. I don't believe that having a small, shriveled, dead penis is chief amongst them.
No.
I mean, it explains
some
a
are,
lot.
Some are growers, some are showers, and that includes after death.
Yes, exactly.
Some are shrivelers.
Well, that's true too, but that means there's
Shrivel me timber.
If that happens when you're alive, see a doctor. There's something wrong with it.
Yes. Hey, by the way, really quickly, we did find a.
It's like the Grinch's
a
fingers.
Jewish- I can't believe I missed this one.
A jacked Jewish guy?
A jacked Jewish guy.
Whoa.
Well, of course, Goldberg.
Well, you didn't know. There is no. Well, of course. I didn't think there was one.
Whoa.
wrong.
Look at those traps.
Yeah, but he wouldn't do it.
He might.
Goldberg wouldn't do it. I don't think he would go out and just. He tends to. I think he leans more left.
Oh.
And he's just a little persnickety. Although, how hilarious would it be for Goldberg to come out with those sparks going?
Yeah.
Breathing the smoke. Palestinian supporters like, oh shit, we're about to get speared.
Line here.
Is Brock Lesnar Jewish?
No, I think he's very not Jewish.
He's very.
Yeah, I think he's the opposite of Jewish.
Hey,
Anti.
we should just play the Adam Sandler song. There's got to be somebody in that list of Jews. You know, like the Hanukkah song.
Yeah, let's think
There's a
about
whole
it.
list of people. Rod Carew, you know, all three Stooges. One of those guys got to be jacked.
Yeah, but they're also mostly dead with their penis in a
You know,
jar.
that's a fair point. We need
Yeah.
a live.
Lenny Kravitz is half a Jew.
That's true. I don't think he would. I don't think he would strike fear into the hearts of pro-Hamas protesters.
No.
Like if we could resurrect Max Baer,
There
great.
you go.
Or even his brother, I'd take Buddy Bear. The point is, there aren't, and I don't think that there aren't many Jewish athletes because they can't be athletic. I think it's a cultural thing.
Is Gary Busey Jewish? We could just set him loose.
That would be fun.
Start spiting.
He's just running through the Amazon Fire Stick. What?
It doesn't even matter what they're protesting. Just anyone in the way is in trouble.
I love it.
Hey, guitar, give me 2 meatball subs. Give me 2. What? We should leave. Poor guy, Gary Busey.
He's gonna get me.
Yeah, I feel bad for him. All right, so we're going to watch this. If you guys are excited about this, I don't really know what there is to say because I think it actually probably is going to be pretty cool.
We'll watch it.
Deadpool,
Comment on it.
Wolverine.
That's the, you know,
All right,
format.
okay. Deadpool and Wolverine comes out in July, and the trailer just dropped.
I told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome anywhere. Now get the out of my bar.
Just give me one more drink and then I'll leave.
I'm straight.
Bitch. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now. Look, lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, it's sort of on the tick-tick, so upsy daisy. Oh, whiskey to pick the claws. It's quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your forehead, I suggest you reconsider.
There's a little bit of Dane Cook in the way Ryan Reynolds scenes. Oh, what was the yellow suit?
I'm about to lose everything.
It's the original suit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not my problem.
Is that what you said when your world went to shit?
Come again.
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Well, that's neat.
It's true.
Oh, was that a tank shot?
Talk
It
about
was.
haunting it, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go f yourself.
The only problem is that's that quintessential lot set that you see in everything to make it look like a downtown. But you do.
Sleeves off. That's good. Makes me horny.
Back when Madonna didn't look like an alien.
You were the X-Man.
You can see that fake city when you go to Universal Studios.
Right now.
This is so silly.
This is what I'm talking about. Big slow motion action sequence.
Little Mad Max influence, obviously. Who's the bad guy?
Is that bad person?
Let's fucking go.
It's hard to, I think it's a multi-universe deal.
Yeah. See?
Because that bald lady's from Infinity series.
I thought you were going to say St. Jude's.
Wait.
Her last wish was
To destroy worlds, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah, I don't know.
What is it? No, she's from Doctor Strange.
Oh.
And then
Wait,
I
wait,
believe
really?
I saw the Ant-Man, like the giant Ant-Man thing come
Oh,
up.
the helmet?
Was that
That
not
was
it?
the Ant-Man helmet?
Yeah,
No?
it was Ant-Man.
It was the Ant-Man
Yeah,
helmet?
so I think it's like they go to one of these universes, one of these universes that has like the Avengers
Yeah.
and stuff, and they maybe failed or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why Ryan Reynolds. Do you think he like talks that way, or he decided to sort of have that affect, where he talks like, "Are you a destroyer of worlds?"
He's
We'll
talked
talk
like
about
that.
it later on. I'm busy.
He's talked like that since like Just Friends, or
No.
dating.
Yeah.
I think his whole career he's kind of like, because that's like a voice that you do an impression of.
Right.
I think,
Yeah.
I
And
think
then
that's
Dane
been
Cook
his-
kind of took
I've
it.
never loved Ryan Reynolds, but his character in this is hilarious.
I actually like Ryan Reynolds. I liked him back
Never
in
loved.
Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza Place.
Last weekend or
Two Guys, and a Girl,
this coming
Short Years.
weekend?
It was pretty funny sitcom. The other guy was on it. Was
I
pretty
think
funny, too.
I think he told me
Yeah,
that,
he's always been
and
pretty
I told him
funny.
happy
He's one of those
birthday. I'm
guys
not
who
sure.
doesn't do anything
To
to
me, he did like the Green Lantern.
He is a little annoying, but this Deadpool character feels like
Oh, this is him. This is
him,
like the
it's like
this
the
character
culmination
was made.
of-
Morning
Well, this is
Undoctrinated.
Redemption.
He wrote it, didn't he?
Well, he was. Yeah, Green Lantern was awful. It was
Terrible.
everything
And he
you don't
admits it.
want to be
Yeah.
Oh.
part of.
I think he told me, and I sent him a message.
An R-rated superhero.
Yeah.
And he really pushed for it for a long time, and then pushed to try and maintain what I'd say the integrity, but the integrity as far as being true to the comic book character, because Deadpool was an assassin. He wasn't really a good guy or a bad guy. He was a gun for hire who kind of had a backstory and a conscience. But you pay him enough money, he'll kill the right person for you.
Yeah.
So it wasn't something they really wanted to make at that point in time. And I do it. Look, the guy's good looking, the guy's funny, the guy's successful, and he took a risk on this. It's tough to dislike him.
He owns an English football club now. Do you hit him?
Yeah, and he gets to go home right after Blake Lively.
I don't know what that means.
You know exactly what that is.
It's redemption for the character too, because
Yeah.
don't forget he was Deadpool before with Wolverine, and it was a massacre of the character.
Yeah, it really
Yeah.
was. It looks like a Mortal Kombat character.
What is this?
Back in one of the was it Wolverines or one of the X-Men films where he was on top of the tower? Is that where it was?
Oh,
And it was kind of sanitized.
But I hate it.
Yeah, well, because they wanted it to be, hey, Ryan Reynolds is good looking. Let's make sure we see his face. And he was like, no, but Deadpool has this disfigured face. It's
Right.
part of an experiment. It's what gives him the mutant healing ability. But
Yeah.
oh yeah, is that what they did with him back then?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
This
they're
was
like,
this is in the Wolverine movie?
No, this was before
X-Men?
that.
Was
This
in
is
the
one of the
X-Men?
X-Men that was before that.
X-Men
You know, like at the
Origins.
tower, like the cooling tower for the nuclear plant. That's kind of where the final scene happens. And that's
So this is
where
like a Sony
That's where what's his name? Wolverine lost his memory there.
right.
In that final sequence. So no, but I really liked, I didn't know how I was going to do with like the grittier version of the comic book characters into a movie, right? So the Marvel comic stuff, most of it was not very gritty. Like you saw some violence, you saw maybe a cuss word here or there, something like that. But then you get to Deadpool and it's like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah, it
Like,
always
this
was.
is a much different thing. And then they did Logan, obviously Deadpool 2.
Logan was great.
Very good. Those were very, very well done, and they're hilarious. Like Ryan Reynolds is hilarious in that role, but it's incredibly serious, and they're playing like a prayer and have slow motion people being killed, blood pouring everywhere, and you're like, well, that's kind of terrible, but it's also hilarious.
Yeah, it's done tongue in cheek.
It is. No, I know, but it works.
Yeah, it does.
They don't take themselves so seriously that they're trying to make something that's like, this is very serious. It's like, actually, we're having fun.
Breaking the
Ryan
fourth
Reynolds
wall,
like,
too.
Yeah, breaking the fourth wall, yeah, wait.
can we just, are we going to wait? Oh, I love it, the slow motion thing of
Yeah.
the action shot.
Yeah.
Great.
And hopefully, Hugh Jackman doesn't take himself too seriously.
He does.
He does tend to take himself very seriously.
Yes.
Oh, he's
He's the greatest showman ever.
It was like I was watching the Muppet movie the other day, the one that had Jack Black in it when he kind of returned, I think in 2011. And Celine Dion is in there where they're doing a musical number. So it's like they have all these celebrities who have a sense of humor about themselves. And does Celine Dion know that this is a joke? This is a send up. She's brilliant and she's taking herself overly seriously, or she just is what she is.
It is what she is. That's what I think.
Yeah. So, what else? Some of self-aware. Yeah, it was good. That one was good. The Muppets Most Wanted wasn't great. It's funny for the race was. I'm a Muppet guy. Sue me.
They say-
I like the Muppets. I always have. You know this about me.
He drugged me to a Muppet movie in the theater.
Did I?
The Christmas one?
Oh, the Christmas Carol. No,
Not Christmas Carol.
no, Muppet Christmas Carol. Was it the Muppet Christmas Carol?
What was the Muppet movie within the last 10 years that came
It
out?
would have been one of the two that I just mentioned.
Which family?
There was just the Muppets come back, where it was Jack Black was in it. They kidnapped Jack Black, and the Muppets kind of come back. Jason Segel.
I don't know that I paid a lot of attention.
No, you probably wouldn't.
I ate some popcorn and said, what the hell am
You're
I
probably
thinking of a
texting
Muppet
all of
movie?
your lady friends
With
back in your
Steven Crowder.
single days. You'd be surprised.
Really?
All right, let's grab some.
Oh yeah.
It's lies, honey, lies.
All I'm saying is this man has lived a full life. Let's grab the shots.
Really, Gerald.
First
question from crew. The left is irrational and dysfunctional, and it seems to have always been that way. Is it nature, nurture, or peer pressure that makes them so?
It's
Yeah, let's just pull in front of somebody
everyone
and
has sort of a
slow down.
percentage that's nature and nurture. With the left, though, it really is the byproduct of enablement, honestly. Like I said, with the hippies, and certainly where you see this today, it's whatever you want, whenever you want, however you feel at that moment in time. And so all of human nature is pretty selfish. And if you look at children, they'll always try and get away with what it is you allow them to get away with.
Yeah.
And that's what you see with the left. These are people who do not act like adults. I mean, I'll hear people often bitch, this generation is just lazy. I don't necessarily think that's the case. And the entitlement isn't, for example, just someone
Jared, well, I'm
sitting on a
good.
welfare with an EBT card. For example, you have kids, you have younger people, Gen Z, who are willing to work hard if it's the exact right condition. That's the issue. Well, I don't want to work in an office. I want to work from home. Yeah, but we don't do that here. Well, it's 2024. People work from home, but not here. And so if they don't get everything to line up perfectly, they also have no shame in just living at home and perpetually being an adolescent. So it really does stem from enablement, I think. Not a lack of organization, but the left, those top of the left, people in these professional protesting groups, these nonprofits, these representatives of the entire DNC and the media, they say, oh, you feel that way? That's fine. Oh, I mean, let's go through every single major social issue. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this as a thought experiment. So I don't want to go through necessarily, but we can go through some of the financial policy because I think we can advertise the social issues. Let's obviously go with abortion. That's a big one.
Gotcha.
Wherever you line up, the message from the left, from the DNC and the media is pretty consistent. It's, no, wait a second. It's no fault of your own, and you shouldn't have to pay for it. It's someone else's fault. So right away, there's enablement. However you feel, you don't need to take responsibility for your own actions. Then you even get to no-fault divorce laws. No, wait a second. Yeah, but if you will get supported for the rest of your life. It's through no fault of your own, even if you leave and the man wants to take care of the child. Okay, we go through that. We go through taxes. No, it's through no fault of your own that you haven't made. You deserve to get the money from someone else who went out and earned it. It's an unfair system. We can go through what's happening.
Education.
Yeah, education. Right. No fault of you. You shouldn't have to pay. No, it's no fault of your own that you choose a useless degree. Well, AIDS, the epidemic, which was not an epidemic. You had Oprah saying that 1 in 5, I believe, heterosexual couples would be affected by AIDS. No. It's not your sexual choices and lifestyle. There is no association whatsoever with certain sexual behaviors and the HIV virus. It's the world. We are the world. Let's support AIDS funding. Let's go through whatever. I'm trying to think of what we have today. Oh, yeah, okay. Transgender. No. It's no. You were born that way, and it's just your body. Your body has done you wrong. You're the wrong. Your brain is in the wrong body, despite the fact that every single study we've ever conducted in looking at brains and physiology shows that you actually do have a male brain. There is no such thing as a brain that doesn't match up with your biological body, but you feel that way, and so it's fine. No, wait, you feel that way? Yes, then your parents should not be able to discipline you. Absolutely not. Oh, hold on. You don't want to work in an office? Yes, work from home. Wait a second. You feel scared of the virus? Yeah, of course. The entire economy should accommodate you. Oh, you were wrong. You feel like you shouldn't pay rent? Of course you shouldn't have to pay rent. The system has failed you. At every single turn, it's what do you want? And the reason that that's being done is because it's the easiest way to buy a vote. It's the easiest. Everyone wants to vote for Santa Claus. I believe Rush Limbaugh put it that way.
That's correct.
Of course you want to vote for Santa Claus. At a certain point, you say, well, how is this happening? How is this funded? And as far as personal decisions, is your life any better? Is your life better if you have had unprotected sex, gotten an abortion, taxpayer funded, gone to school to get a useless degree that you demand be relieved, again, by the taxpayer, gotten into a house that you can't afford, loan forgiveness, and then, left somebody simply because you were no longer happy in a long-term commitment, which used to be a contract, and now you're a man, who used to be a woman, or vice versa. Is your life any better? The answer is no. Just like a child is no better off if their parents will give them everything they want because they demand it, and that's what a tantrum.
Yeah, life is not supposed to be easy. We shouldn't make it so hard that nobody can do it, but it should be difficult. We do not do well with easy, right? When times are good, it breeds like these very weak men, and bad times tend to follow. Right? There's this circle that people talk about, but I've seen it because of my industry.
Maverick Tremor. I've never seen one of those.
Why? If you have too much water, we are the same way. We do much better when we're under some stress because we're just not made easy. And I think fundamentally, the liberal idea, by and large, and I'm not talking about the leadership that tries to co-opt it and do something.
Hey, Midwest.
But generally, people are like, I want to make people's lives easier and better. Right. And they end up doing it in a way that actually kills millions of people through communism and socialism, or completely erodes all potential ability to have freedom of speech, Second Amendment, have gun rights. All of those things say this power should be the one telling us how things should go. And they should work the economy so that our lives will be better. The government, the all elite class of people can help us live a better life. It never works out. Right. But B, it's actually not the way it's supposed to be in the first place. You don't want your life to be super easy. You want it to have some challenge to it. So those are the places where you grow. Right. You find out about yourself. You actually make advancements. Because if there's no incentive for it, like you were talking about the kids living in the house and saying, oh, I want to work from home, or I want to live at home and I want to work remotely. If I wanted money, I didn't have my parents to look forward to for money. I didn't. I had to go get a job. It forced me to do something uncomfortable, which was go to school and then after school go and work from 5 o'clock until 9 o'clock.
Oh, Jesus.
Come home and do my homework. It forced me to do those things. I had to have discipline developed, and then I had to see the rewards from it. So it built in this reward mechanism. If I work hard, I can make money.
Jared, the poker
now
champ.
I can take that and use that in life. Right. Kids today that don't have that, you're screwed.
It's the elimination. It's a philosophy whose foundational premise is the elimination of challenges and risk, and they conflate the idea of challenges with cruelty. Right? That's. Let me ask you this. Okay, anything that you've ever accomplished, muscles, sport. If you don't challenge them, if you don't challenge your body, does it get stronger? No, of course not. How did you learn to read? You challenge yourself. Very likely with letters, and then words, and then phrases, right? Measurable progress. And you had punctuation, you had verb tenses to it, learning a new language. The same thing. Learning a new skill. You have to challenge yourself. Again, but for some reason, we don't apply that to, for example, poverty.
Why is this guy sitting in the left lane?
So do you need to face some challenge? If you don't face any challenges, you will not be able to develop the tools to pull yourself out of poverty.
They call poverty in itself the challenge.
Right.
They just call it
a challenge.
And we'll help you fix it by.
And they always point to the most extreme examples to make the point. So with abortion, it's rape and incest. Right? With immigration, they go children, anchor babies. When we talk about poverty, they go, what about people who have an IQ under 70? Or what about someone who needs these social benefits because they're disabled, and they'll pick someone, who has rickets and is a paraplegic. Okay, but we're not talking about that. There's 2% of the population who may be so low on the IQ.
Yell at traffic. Fucking idiots,
that
man.
Does happen, of course. But that's not where the argument is taking place. We're talking about basic challenges to the human condition, which is the only way that people, it's really the only way that any living organism on Earth progresses. You need to be challenged.
And that brings me to the point I want to make, which is I think it's a lot of peer pressure. And I wouldn't call it peer pressure with the question was phrased, but the left rules by mob rule of fear. Yeah. There's the nurture part.
He might hear me.
A little bit of nature, more nurture, like you said, Joe was saying. But there's also this mentality they have that if you don't do things the way we do them, right, you are a bad person. You are a person that should not be in society. You should not be a part of our society. You're going to ostracize you. You don't get to have anything that we have if you disobey us. You don't get to live a nice life. Nice lives are only for people that
A lot of traffic today for some reason.
People only get the help.
It actually said this way was faster today. It must be something going on in I-75.
Guess what? You're a piece of shit.
Backed up or something.
Right. Now we have the internet. They can just put it all over the place. You can make up stuff too. Yeah. So I think that is a huge key that people don't want. People are afraid of not being cool. That's the simplest way to put it.
Yeah.
You're afraid of not being cool. You're afraid of not being in the group. You're afraid of not being invited to the party. You're afraid of not going to pick for the kickball team. Yeah. You're afraid of being left alone at recess.
Right.
That's what it is.
And the difficulty too, people say Republicans are ineffective, and that's true. It is tough to deal with what is effectively fascism with freedom, again, as a counterargument. So, for example, if they're saying, no, you need to go to school, get a degree, and we need to have higher education, be socialized, and that will get you into the workforce. Education is the most important thing in the world, and you getting a job in a union. It's hard to combat that with, yeah, you want to start a business? Okay, go ahead, yeah, do that. Oh wait, want to go to trade school? Sure, do that. Yeah.
Guys, not even doing
a bunch of different ways to
speed limit
do
in the
it,
left
as long as
lane.
it doesn't infringe on me. Versus, you have to do it this way, and we'll make sure that someone else funds it. It's very.
What, yell at traffic?
You know, broken households, for example. We've settled quite a few people in this office who had to deal with this.
We're showing my wiener.
And some of them had siblings. And what happened is, it's very easy when that happens and the child is going back and forth for one parent to say, I know I'll make it so anything you want. Because I know there's discipline in the other household. And for a period of time,
Oh,
you
come
will
on.
always be the favorite. Invariably, when you have 2 or 3 children who grow up, at least 1 or 2 says, you know what, I guess I thought it was kind of cool to be home with no supervision and partying, but looking back, I actually wanted a mom or a dad. And that's actually what I needed. So people who are in perpetual adolescence who are enabled, it's just people who don't grow up. And I can't tell you how many examples I've seen that where there's one family, really clear, where one person went with the mom, and mom was never there, let them do whatever they wanted, and the other person did not go with this mother, went the other way. One is a functioning member of society, doesn't have a relationship with their mother, and the other one is in jail. They're really happy because whatever they want, whenever they want. And you guys see that a lot. It happens quite a bit. It's good, just sort of it's good cautionary tale.
Come
So
on,
it really does
dude.
come down to nature, and then I would just
Dude
say
is doing 65 in a 70.
It's a prescription and almost a religion of enablement.
In the left lane.
That really is corrosive. It's corrosive because every selfish
There
person
you go.
wants to feel validated. in
Get
all
the
of their
fuck
wrong
out of the way.
decisions or their mistakes. It's tough to combat that. So let's cover the chapter.
All right.
Everybody, let's bam together.
Which ideology seems to be winning in colleges, Marxism or Islam, since both of them influencing the education systems right now?
Well, it's interesting because what's the through line here? Marxism and Islam. You would think that they're opposed in one way in which there's fascism. Their way or the highway. It cannot create a society that functions without Islam. Sharia law. Not Islam, it's Sharia law, period. If you are not Muslim, you are converted, killed, or subject to dhimmi, poll tax, and a curfew. That's it. That's the only way it works. That's how you see it play out in an Islamic society. Marxism, it only works if you, by force, take over the means of production and manufacturing from the business owner. Everyone has to be on board and on the same page and do it that way and face harsh punishments if you don't. So it really does, and of course this all involves fascism, ultimately diverting all of your personal energy to consolidated, centralized authority, whether it be the Quran and the leaders of the government/mosque therein, or people like Stalin, Mao, take your pick with communism. The through line there is fascism. And at some point, none will be warring with each other, but right now, they're useful allies. That's why they just ignore the parts that are inconvenient. They can't be reconciled.
Yeah. And I think a lot of this, the movement for both seems pretty strong right now, amongst the other people who happen to. I don't mean that, like, I don't want to be one of those guys who's a little bit older now and doing something. And I'm not old, but I have a life. I work for a living. I've had to struggle at times. I've had to start a business and not make any money. I have some life experience and I can go, oh, you know, when I was in college, I really didn't understand a whole lot about how the world works. It doesn't mean you don't understand everything. It just means that maybe you're not as familiar with having to go out and make a living. Understanding, like,
Hey, Anna.
have everything.
Perfect timing.
Life up until that point has been mom and dad paying for everything for the most part. Maybe you worked in high school, maybe you didn't have a privileged upbringing to get it. But for the most part, that was the case, and now you're in college, and you're basically, you have room and board, kind of taken care of by your parents, and kind of scholarship, and you're working a little bit there. But most people don't really have the world smiling in their face until you have college. Oh, this is reality. Mom and dad aren't there, college is not there, I gotta go make it on my own.
We're driving too.
I think Islam has a little bit of a problem taking hold at that point, because
You doing munchies?
you may not like Islam, you may like Christianity, you may like any of those religions, but there isn't that kind of draw to something like there is that kind of socialist,
Damn it.
communist, fascist, whatever
What?
point where you don't have to work.
Why did he change
I don't
lanes?
think Islam is necessarily the biggest threat. I
He
think
changed
the
lanes
issue
to
now
slow
is
me
just people
down.
who don't like the state of Israel.
The fuck,
And I don't
dude?
think that necessarily ties to Islam in a lot of protesters' minds. Some of them, for sure, it does. It's pro-Hamas. But there's a bunch of people who are just like, yeah, Israel's the bad guy. They're the imperialists. They're not Islamic saying that. The Christian people saying that.
I know we were talking about how they're funded by Qatar
Yeah.
and these organizations of fear and the Muslim whatever. But if you asked
What a jackass.
any random person in one of those
All these
tents,
people passing on the
they're
right
sure
now.
not going to get robbed in or raped in. I
think they are.
When they start getting raped and robbed by each other, you know. But if you ask anyone,
I got my lights on.
students, if they know where the funding's coming from, there's no way they're gonna. No, there's no way they're gonna. The student organization, it's the Justice for the Pal. We are Hamas.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And
Get out of my face, you Zionist pig! And it's like, well, I mean, you have no idea this camp out is being funded by a terrorist organization who is responsible for dead Palestinians, you fuck.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, but they're useful tools to each other. That's all it is. I would say on the global
Sorry,
scale, there's socialism and Marxism pulling up Islam right now as a useful tool. Because, I mean, there certainly are more coalitions who would be interested in internationalism, relate to oil money, terrorism, going across the globe, than there would be in Zionism, going to use those terms. So I think socialist big government types see Islam as a useful tool.
Yes.
They're the ones pulling it up. Now, as it relates to students, that's where you have those with the best interest in Islam.
All right. I hate passing on the right, but I'm going to.
see globally Islam as a useful tool, and as it relates to protest, obviously, Islamic organizations. Yeah, these students are useful tools, and they'll sort it out. One of them will stand up, the other in the back later. They don't really care about it right now because
Man,
the
die.
threat is patriarchy. Remember? Yeah, you say this is patriarchy. Remember what that was?
Down with the patriarchy, up with Islam.
Yeah, it's like.
What?
Yeah.
Same people.
it's like you're cheering to be oppressed.
They just don't have friends. That's what it comes down to.
He's sped up.
They don't have friends. They don't have family. They're losers.
When I passed them.
And the people who do.
Now he's speeding up behind me.
That's the issue. They're focused on their life.
Yeah, they're like, this doesn't really affect me. Again, for next week, after the rest of the people, everyone's involved. They just want to go.
Don't make me burn out your window, motherfucker.
Let's grab a final chat. All right, final chat from our live.
Ooh, I like that Tesla. That was nice Tesla.
See more sports organizations put their foot down on the wrong trans athletes. See more articles pop up about that.
I have seen the I'll let you, sorry, I don't want to.
No, I want to hear.
The non-woke studioustic, that just cracks me up. Because it's like, yeah, it's none of this is getting good. We are making sure that no women or black people are in this movie. Yeah, like, well, I don't know, it's a love story. So you're going to make it not woke if they're not gay and there's no women. It's like, this makes no sense. You're going out of your way to not. I understand what they mean, but just the word "not woke" just makes me. It seems like that. It seems like
It's one thing to have a perspective.
I'm not that worried about speed.
Yeah. It's another thing to try and cater art to a perspective from mine.
Yeah.
And I think that's Ben's thing, right? It's like, look, especially this program.
Sun drops.
This is a
The
reflection.
sun is shining and it's fucking pouring.
I became conservative really pretty young. You just talk about being slapped in the face.
Well, that sounds great right now.
At 12 or 15 years old, when you have a dream, you know your voice on a cartoon that you can be really proud of, and someone says you're fired. You aged out. And you go, wait, what? So yeah, your voice changed.
I'm getting off the freeway anyway.
What do you do? And
One mile.
I had a conversation with my dad, like, yeah, no, they can do that, but you'll get the next one. You'll get the next one. Oh, they have the right. They have the right to make that decision. I'm not. It doesn't matter to them that this means that much to me. I'm part of a business. And then I understood about taxes. And I thought, okay, all right. So this is how the world works now. That rejection early on and understanding that it's something you have to accept. And then seeing other kids being shielded from any kind of rejection or any kind of discomfort is what made me inherently more conservative. Very, very young, being tutored on set. So I've been around this for a long time, and what you see here is a reflection of, and of course, a group of people. But again, there have been different people who've worked here. If you go back to 2009, or you go to when this show was on radio.
Rana has the munchies again.
Then you see when it went later, in 2016. there's a point of view and sense of humor. It's been pretty much the same. Production budget changes, different players come in and out. It's a reflection of what I believe in because I can't change it. It's immutable. There's a difference between that and people who say there's a market here and let's make money off of this market. Now, I'm not saying that all non-woke films are doing that.
No, of course
there are
not.
a lot of hands in that cookie jar.
It's just the way it looks. That's
Yes.
that's the point I was trying to make. Is
Yeah,
not
you're right.
I'm not making an opinion here. I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings out there.
Oh,
No,
Non-wokers, but
you're fine.
this is a non-woke show. If you would describe it as something like that, but you're not out there going, "Hey, we're non-woke here. We specifically go out of our way
right.
to not be woke." It's just
I
it's
hate
like
what I hate.
Yeah. It's just
Sometimes
weird.
for no reason.
It's a weird way. It is. It does feel like a money grab to me. It feels like a
Yeah.
hey.
a gimmick.
It makes me because it makes me as somebody who doesn't like the woke culture and the cancel culture. It makes me feel like you're trying to take me.
Yeah.
You're trying to deceive me.
What? Brian Stelter's back on CNN. Holy shit!
Speaking of woke TV,
Whoa! And he's somehow bolder.
Was this way to tip off my women were out there shocking stories about Donald Trump?
Straight.
It's Ray.
I was once told by a former inquirer that
I was once told. That's how he talks.
so common, so
Okay, if you didn't know, any doubt that he's gay?
No, I knew.
No, I'm saying, but if you didn't know, because he's straight, he's married, any doubt, he's like, oh, that's a gay guy. I better not make gay jokes because he's gay.
I also love that
Till death do us
without
part.
context, it looks like the lower third is calling him Pecker.
Yes. He does look at my pecker in the restroom though.
What is he doing back on CNN?
Well, what else is he gonna do?
Isn't he not allowed on there?
He got fired.
Yeah, he got
I thought
fired.
he's a Harvard correspondent.
He's a Harvard senior fellow, I guess. His Instagram is still the funniest thing on earth.
When I had my
That's how much they hate Trump.
Yeah.
Is they're like, bring back a guy we fired.
Yeah, bring back Brian Stelter. I don't know if you were here when we did this. We went through his Instagram. It was like, the only thing better than brunching with my wife is her super hot bod. Stuff like that. We're just like,
What straight man talks
Oh,
like that?
they don't.
what straight man uploads a picture of brunch with mimosas as though that's heaven's gate?
Yeah.
I mean, I love brunch
Avocado
mimosas,
toast.
and if my wife and I went, I'd post a picture, but I wouldn't say it like that.
I wouldn't say the only thing better than brunching. I can name you a
Right.
million things better than brunching.
That's
it's,
true.
It's fine.
That's true.
I wouldn't call it brunching either.
No, you wouldn't call it brunching.
No, it's not a verb.
And you wouldn't say super hot bod.
No.
Super hot? No, never.
Like
What you guys say, right?
if you were in an intimate moment with a woman, where sometimes you get
I would-
talking,
I
and
would
you say
say-
like, I can't get enough of your super hot bod. You're like, oh, I didn't realize I was a faggot.
It sounds like you're
I'm a beard. Wow.
It sounds like you're making it up.
Yeah.
I would say something like, "Whoa, look at this smoke show," and also my wife's in the photo.
Yes, exactly.
No, I'm kidding. But that's a weird way to say it. Smoking hot bod. It's like somebody wrote a script. It's like a gay guy wrote a script
Yeah.
for a straight guy to say.
Yeah, it's bizarre. And it's just like we all have to act. I just don't like the agreed upon line. We all have to act like he's straight.
And everybody's streaming right now.
Somebody there. Must have been after Trump went in. There's Trump. So they let everyone else come in. Here's Trump coming in.
Support the vote to let them know that we're coming on November 5th. We're coming big. Today is preliminary, but still it's very important. And maybe they'll think also about a very good person who's running for the Senate in Pennsylvania, Dave McCormick. And he's doing a good job. He's working very hard, successful man. Wants to for the success of the country. He'll be a very good senator, so hopefully they'll be behind Dave. Get out there, go today. So Pennsylvania, get out of the road. What's going on at the college level, at the colleges, Columbia, NYU, and obviously it was a disgrace. And it's really on Biden. He has the wrong signal, he's got the wrong tone, he's got the wrong words, he doesn't know who's backing. And it's a mess. And if this were me, it'd be after me, it'd be after me so much, but they're trying to get him a pass. What's going on is a disgrace to our country. And it's all Biden's fault, and everybody knows it. He's got no message, he's got no compassion, he doesn't know what he's doing. He can't put two sentences together, frankly.
That's true.
He is the worst president in the history of our country. And again, what's going on is a disgrace. That's interesting outside. For great Americans, people that want to come down and they want to protest at the court. They want to protest peacefully. We have more police presence here than anyone's ever seen. For blocks, you can't get near this protest. And yet you have nobody up at a college where you have very radical people wanting to rip the colleges down, the universities down. And that's a shame. But it all starts with Joe Biden. The signals he puts out are so bad. And I can tell you, he's no friend of Israel, that's for sure. And he's no friend of the Arab world either. Take a look at what he said. He's no friend of, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what
No,
to
that's
do.
why they're
He wants to
paying
be
off
like
both
a middle
sides.
ground. And oftentimes
We'll
that
talk about
doesn't
that.
work.
The Senate's on that right now.
But what he's done to Israel is abandoned them. And he's trying to be as nice as he can to the other side. Call it the Arab world, but that's not working either because they get him. And he's an incompetent man. Peace will never happen with a guy like this. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. President. Hey, pipe down, reporter. Show some respect. He's not answering your questions. All right, so who's over there? So he didn't really talk at all about the trial. Almost at all. There's Emil Bowe. All right, so that was Trump's statement. Now, this was the scene outside a bit this morning. Looks like the usual New York streets. And then this is back live. So, all right, that's what's cooking over there. Now, you saw Trump mention some other items that were cooking over there in the Biden administration, including this situation in New York, Columbia, Yale. There is a wild situation happening where there's like remember the little IHOP Chaz locations they were setting up? Like, this is our autonomous zone. What? You're like literally insurrecting a city. You like are declaring that you're seceding from the Union, I guess. That's weird. You know, I think that's like a declaration of war, I guess, almost kind of a thing. So they didn't really care much about that. They're like, well, they're seceding from bigotry, so we're okay with that. And they went after just grandmas from the J6 protests. And here, several, they say, pro-Palestinian protests at major universities have been forcibly shut down. Well, things are getting spicy over there. It says the protests, which have been growing in size and intensity, aggressive crackdowns from schools and police. This was yesterday. Officials at Columbia University called the cops, removed the demonstrators, as people were demanding the school exit from their support of Israel. Demonstrators have been setting up encampments, which have sold to hundreds of protesters who are demanding that their schools condemn Israel's assault on Gaza. Lots of scenes here. I'm not going to play all these, but just to give you a little smattering of what's happening. Right here, let me turn the volume down and just kind of watch, a little smattering here. So cops are there. Your tents are coming down. All right, tents are coming down. Someone has a chair there. Inconvenient location for a chair. No, we don't want the chair there. Cops say that's our chair now. That's our tent now. Okay, that's our tent now. And that's our tent now. Get the heck out of here. All right, so okay, so that's, I guess those students protesting at their schools are going to cause Congress to attract some money or something. I don't really get it, but here's another scene. Free Palestine, cease the siege. NYPD arrests at least a dozen faculty members.
Okay, so even the faculty are getting involved in this. Members in the liberated zone. Police deployed the LRAD while protesters were praying, just nuking protesters, I guess. See if they get indicted and thrown in the gulags. Palestinian activists set off flares as they hold protests outside NYPD headquarters. Where's the FBI? I thought that this white rage extremism that we're hearing so much about? Is this domestic homegrown violent extremism that they need to censor us on and FISA us to death over? I don't know. So here they are outside New York Police Department headquarters as they await the release of several protesters from police detention. Police say they're describing them as interfering with the safety and security of our community. Now, as the Epoch Times reported, the university tried to negotiate with the protesters. The situation escalated. More people joined the ranks. Protesters ignored repeated requests to leave, insurrecting the buildings. Now, at this point, we consider all protesters to be trespassers. We'd like the NYPD to clear the area and take action, otherwise we're going to arrest you. Said neutrality is complicity, right? Yeah, I know, we know that. You have to join our cause, or else you're a terrorist or you're a genocidal warmonger, unless you join our cause. I know, we already heard this. We've already heard this from... If you're not anti-racist, then you're racist, or whatever that stupid phrase was. Okay, whatever you say, yeah, just keep living in your little world. So at Yale University, police arrested 60 pro-Palestinian demonstrators. University police, not the FBI though, I guess. We'll see if the FBI goes and raids their houses. 47 of them students who had pitched a weekend-long encampment on the plaza. Protests continued on Monday. You can see a lot of that happening. Harvard has the same thing. Harvard Yard has been restricted through Friday. University suspended the Palestinian Solidarity Committee. MIT, same thing. It's weird. It's like we're almost... Is this the kindling for the new Summer of Love? Oh, remember that fiery but mostly peaceful Summer of Love where they were just burning buildings now, but it was mostly peaceful? Weird. I wonder if this is going to continue to agitate up into summer and into the election season. Curious. We are here first and foremost to call for a ceasefire, says someone. Jack Posobiec is watching this attack. All right, so this is another attack. It's like, I don't know what's going on. They're barricading themselves. Are they going to take over the university? Like, I think I read a novel about this one time. It's like the end of the world, students take over the university, and it's like, man, that's fun. Like if you're like 13, and you're like, wow, this is just a wild situation. Maybe the students can take over the school. It's like a fun little fantasy that 13-year-old boys have. Like, yeah, we're smarter than them. We can make it work. We have total order here. I can figure it out. You know how that goes. I don't know. I'm sure there's someone out there who understands what I'm saying. You're in school and you're like, yeah, we can pretty much run this place. When I'm in 8th grade, yeah, I got this figured out. So, anyways, you can see this dude's banging on a 5-gallon drum, which is extremely effective at communication. Just continue to bang on a drum. All right. So that's what's going on in our universities. Who knows where this is going to go? We've had Sandy bring up, that this could be a resurrection of the Democratic Convention of 1968. And it seems like we're right on track for that. We're right on pace. So that's what's cooking over there. Now, Joe Biden was out and about yesterday. Let's see what his schedule looks like. We haven't seen much from him. Monday, he was campaigning while he was bogging down his competitor in trial by sending his third in command from the DOJ, the Associate Deputy AG, Matthew Colangelo, from the DOJ back over to Bragg's office to go prosecute him. The president is now departing Wilmington. That was on Monday, so we had kind of a long weekend. So let's have a late leave from Delaware. Went over to Virginia, delivered remarks on Earth Day. Oh, isn't that beautiful? And so I think AOC was there. President arrives at the White House back later that afternoon. So here's what it sounded like from him yesterday. Yeah, this is an interesting one from Carly. And she posted here, what's going on here, right? Very curious situation here. Here was Joe, and AOC comes walking up. What's going on here? Is he going to sniff her? Don't do it. He did it! Oh, Joe, it wasn't even subtle, man.
Later, Jared.
Now, don't tell me it was a whisper, okay? It's a fake whisper.
JC, I mean.
It's a snisper.
We're only 7 minutes away.
Snisper is what it is.
I'm going to do a desktop stream, though, as long as I don't get ambushed as soon as I get there. Get in there.
I'm going to take you back to the ice cream center. He's like, I love ice cream. Let's go. Where are they going, man? Is she holding his hand? Is she holding his hand? She looks like it, doesn't it? Let it go. Are they still holding hands right here? Like they shake hands, obviously, right there. Here's the sniff. There it is. The sniff spur. Yes. I just have to whisper something to you. No. It's the sniff spur. AOC's pretty young, you know, way too old for his normality. He's not like way too old, but he doesn't really know what is what anymore. And she looks young relative to people he's normally around. So it's you know what's going on. We all know what's going on. Yeah, all right. So that's what that looked like. Now here was a little bit of his speech. So as soon as he was done. Historic climate action. Wow, look at this. Look at this incredible scene. It does look beautiful. It looks like a beautiful day. Okay, Bernie. Wow, $7 billion in funding for the solar program legislation to make. Wow, another Democratic grift. Isn't that great? All right, so Bernie, who comes out? Who's this dude? He's going to say something. Oh, AOC was there yesterday. Let's see what AOC said. I didn't break this video player. Looks like I may have done that. Let's see. Let's do a refresh on the screen and see if there's any other points of interest in here. Joe Biden, he comes out. Hello. Hi, Joe.
Thank you, Senator, for sharing your story to embody the spirit of Earth Day. On this day, 54 years ago, literally toxic rivers burning, air fuel pollution, millions of Americans from every age and background rallied together to stand for our environment and for future generations. I got to know Senator Gordon Nelson, or Gaylord Nelson, excuse me, from Wisconsin when I got to the Senate. And he organized the purpose to understand what enacting.
How long did he go? That's 4 minutes. Wow.
Fight climate change.
16 minutes.
Manufacturing.
Okay, 14.
We work together. Let's say, quote back quoting. More important than material gains, the moral and spiritual value of such work. Always put in the context of not beyond just what we're being. I'd say the same holds true for what we're doing here today. That's a moral imperative. And I've never been more optimistic about America's future.
Moral imperative.
United States of America. And there's nothing beyond our capacity.
Joe.
Work together.
Okay, we've heard that little line many times before. No, I'm serious. I'm serious. I'm kidding. All right, so that's Joe. Now, he got asked a question about the Gaza-Israel situation at the universities when he's done.
And the anti-Semitic protests on college campuses.
I condemn the anti-Semitic protests. That's why I've set up a program to deal with that. I also condemn those who don't understand what's going on with the Palestinians and how they're being used.
Should the Columbia University president resign?
I didn't know that. I'll have to find out more.
I think the question was should they resign? And he says, I didn't know that. Should the Columbia University president resign? I didn't know that. Well, that's because it was a question, Joe. All right. So that's what the White House looks like. NYU and the protests are working, their way through. Questions about the 2024 election are whether or not Joe Biden is going to be debating, and this came out from over the weekend. This was Governor, what's this guy's name? Pritzker? And yeah, J.B. Pritzker. He was out fighting for Joe, saying he's smart, he's a great debater, and if we decide to do this debate thing, he'll do fine.
Encourage Joe Biden to debate Donald Trump?
Look, I think we're used to having debates, there's no doubt. I will say that whenever I look at Donald Trump's debating style, he lies and lies and lies, and it's so hard to respond to that in the middle of a debate. You only have 30 seconds or 60 seconds to respond. Do you talk about what you want to do for the future, or do you respond to the lies that have come out of Donald Trump's mouth every minute? And so I'm concerned about that, just to be honest with you. But I also think that Joe Biden is a terrific debater.
Would you encourage?
Terrific debater, yeah, it's going to be fun. There's not going to be a debate, obviously, right? Don't think so. So he, as you can see, is wearing that Ukraine ribbon. Everybody has to wear the ribbon and to wave the flags around. And Congress is very excited about that. In fact, right now in the Senate, let's see where we're at on this. Oh, are they live still? We were seeing if they were live. They were in session this morning, and let's see if they're still going on or not. I had it queued up this morning. Yeah, it does look like it is still live, so let's see what this looks like.
It recently reported, and I quote, "We see China sharing machine tools, semiconductors, other dual-use items that have helped Russia rebuild the defense industrial base that sanctions and export controls had done so much to degrade." End quote. Madam President, in the face of increased aggression from these powers, the United States response
95.3 billion in aid to Israel, Ukraine, Taiwan.
And that includes not just having a strong military and a strong economy, but engaging on the global stage. As I said, bad actors will fill any space they think they can fill.
Like our southern border.
And when the United
States
and other countries abdicate leadership on the global stage,
like I said, I will probably set up a desktop stream. We'll see.
The foreign aid
another busy day ahead of me.
Is an important part of telegraphing America's refusal to see the global stage.
Love you guys. Thanks for riding with me.
Powers.